Next on Worcester News Tonight, area high schools are taking extra precautions as the threat for Triple E virus is upgraded in area towns. Plus, a home construction project in Leicester leads to a centuries-old discovery. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. A noticeably cooler day here in Central Mass, and it looks like there's a little rain in the forecast. Let's get a first look at the weekend with meteorologist Pamela Gardner.
Hey there, good evening. I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. Well, we're tracking Dorian here, and we're going to see the closest brush by from Dorian early Saturday morning, about 120 miles off the coast of Nantucket. So we're going to see a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind ramping up overnight tonight across Worcester County. The worst of the weather 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning, but a lot of the worst of the wind will be actually first across the coastline, Cape Cod and the islands. The heaviest rain will be done by the lunch hour for Saturday, then some sunshine, and the rest of the weekend's looking just fine. Nice day on Sunday too. Our exclusive in-house forecast model shows the chance for rain, the heavy steady rain bands here, and tropical rain moving our way from 10 o'clock until Saturday morning. And the showers will continue to fill in by 6 a.m. But notice we get this wind direction change as this system moves away from us, so the rain shuts off pretty quickly once we get into Saturday afternoon. And along the coastline, that's where they have high surf advisories, tropical storm warning across Cape Cod and the islands. And here's the latest on Dorian. It's just off the coast of the Outer Banks, and it continues to move to the north and east. So there's the nearest pass Saturday morning with winds at the center, 85 miles an hour, gusts of 105. Coming up, more on our local impacts here across Central Mass and your 10-day forecast.
Area schools are taking extra precautions as several communities raise the Triple E threat level to critical. Our Gretchen LaRosa spoke with one school system who says they aren't taking any chances. She joins us now with more. Gretchen?
Anna, the state confirms 3 new cases of Triple E in Massachusetts, with one right here in Worcester County. Officials say it's a critical time to take precaution, including making changes to a Friday night tradition. A new football season starts with a warning about the mosquito-carrying virus referred to as Triple E.
Schedules are usually done months in advance, so certainly a development like this throws a little bit of a monkey wrench into the plan.
Grafton High School athletic director Jim Scanlon says the threat of Triple E is changing the plan they had for the fall athletic season.
And that means that we are changing schedules around, altering schedules as we need to, providing insect repellent to our student athletes and staff to make sure that we provide the safest environment possible.
All night games in Grafton are rescheduled for earlier times. There are 7 confirmed human cases of Triple E this year, including one in the town. Dr. Michael Hirsch says the risk of the virus is a concern and awareness is important.
We are very sympathetic to the idea that we want children to be active and we want the sports teams to have their games. But we also know that, unfortunately, they're very much at risk when they're very sweaty and they're out there in the dusk hours. That's what the mosquitoes like.
High school football kicks off a week from Friday. Scanlon says, as excited as they are putting safety first.
We are taking all steps necessary to ensure the safety of our student athletes, coaches, parents, officials, fans.
Now, Dr. Hirsch says Triple E will remain a threat until the first frost of the season. Officials are encouraging people to cover up in long clothing and continue using bug repellent. In Worcester, Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
There's concern about the air quality in one of the city's elementary schools. Initial air quality tests at Columbus Park School came back negative for mold. The school committee is requesting the city and state conduct additional tests. Teachers Union President Roger Nugent says he's experienced burning eyes during his time in the school. He's concerned for the safety of staff and children. Columbus Park is one of the district's oldest schools and enrolls hundreds of children. Imagine renovating your home and discovering a centuries-old artifact. It's what happened to a Leicester family this week. Our Olympia Lemon spoke with them today and has more.
May De Jesus carefully handles a more than 120-year-old newspaper.
Nature's love, a two-headed sparrow.
Her husband found a copy of the Worcester Spy in a wall when repairing damage to their house.
It's just awesome to see kind of the remedies and the articles and what they talk about, and also the vernacular, how they speak is great as well.
De Jesus says her house is the oldest in Leicester. It was built in 1720 and was the home of Colonel William Henshaw.
Colonel William Henshaw coined the phrase Minutemen. This house originally had 1,200 acres. The town was incorporated in 1722. My family moved in here in 1910. I'm the fourth generation to live in this house.
The Worcester Spy was one of the most popular newspapers in New England from 1781 to 1904. De Jesus says she has found other historical artifacts in her house before, and it's exciting to learn the history of her family and her home.
My parents were very involved in Leicester politics.
She says her hope is people won't be so quick to throw things away and find out more about their history.
When your elders die, may it be parents, grandparents, just don't throw anything away. Go up in the attic and see, because it's your history, it's our history. And I think a lot of it gets lost to just be thrown away.
De Jesus was dropping off the newspaper at the Worcester Historical Museum in hopes they would help her preserve it. In the studio, Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
A Worcester couple is raising money to restore the Olympia Theatre, but for the past few months, their funding has been stalled. The building is almost 130 years old. Patrick Flynn and Jennifer Wright are hoping to raise $250,000 to restore the building. In the meantime, they'll focus on opening a restaurant there as they work to raise the funds. This is the last weekend of the Brimfield Flea Market for the season. The 3 weeks in May, July, and September draw up to 50,000 people. Our Chandler Walsh scoped out the vendor booths today and has more.
Mary Golding carts her flea market finds down Route 20.
Everyone can find me. I'm the girl with the orange chair.
She's come to the Brimfield Flea Market to buy items for her friend's gift shop.
We came down looking for little unique things that we can add to the shop and that will add a little personality.
Golding is one of more than 20,000 shoppers here the flea market's last week in 2019. Visitors search for goods from chainsaw-carved birdhouses to Old English stained glass.
Pretty overwhelming at first. My first time here, there was a lot of walking, and I think I was in sandals at the time. Always wear sneakers.
Brimfield's police and fire departments staff the half-mile stretch of vendor booths.
All the officers understand that during the fair week, they're required to work. So they arrange their schedules, and nobody takes vacation and that kind of thing.
We currently have the Department of Fire Services assisting us with drone service as well as communications this year.
Police Chief Charles Kuss says they experience more calls this week, so his officers are working long shifts with all hands on deck.
They bring their cars and their dogs and their wives and all that stuff. And so we have all of the things that humans do and say and happen, and multiplied times 8 or 10 from what our normal town is.
Chief Kuss says the department enjoys the flea market and the crowd it draws. People come far, like vendor Kathy Payne from North Carolina.
15 years ago we started doing it regularly.
Or from close by, like Cindy Poirier from Sturbridge.
Whatever you collect, whatever you love, you'll find it here.
It's here.
It's here.
The last Brimfield Flea Market of this year runs through Sunday. Antiquers and visitors can shop from 6 a.m. to dusk or 3 p.m. on a Sunday. In Brimfield, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Following an announcement from Walmart, several other retailers are changing their gun policies. Walgreens, Wegmans, and CVS are all now asking customers to stop carrying firearms in stores. Earlier this week, both Walmart and Kroger announced they're asking people to stop openly carrying weapons in stores. Walmart has also said it will discontinue the sales of ammunition for handguns and other assault-style rifles. These changes, of course, following several mass shootings in the past 2 months, including one at a Walmart in El Paso.